Hey, we're all looking for that perfect diet that helps you elevate your mood, gives you more energy, and helps you manage pain. But if you're trying to eat more healthfully, no doubt you've come across the idea of anti-inflammatory diets. Now, what's at the real core of these anti-inflammatory diets, core diets like the DASH diet or the Mediterranean diet, is that they are anti-inflammatory in nature. But what does that really mean? And how do you actually know if you're eating an anti-inflammatory diet? How do you actually know that an anti-inflammatory diet is having an anti-inflammatory benefit to your body? How do you actually know that you're eating a diet that's conducive to managing inflammation and improving your mood and your energy levels? I'm Dr. J. I'm founder of EvokeLife.co in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. For almost 2 decades, I've been working with busy professionals, actors, creatives, and artists to get the most out of their brains and their bodies. We work with them to help extend their health span, to really develop personalized anti-aging solutions that are built to allow your body to thrive. And when we're eating the way that we're literally built to eat based on our DNA, that's how we can really unlock this anti-inflammatory balance that we need to be eating in order to facilitate the best health in our lives. We can see that through diet and lifestyle, we can really optimize our energy levels. We can combat anxiety and depression and other mood issues, and we can overcome all sorts of inflammatory disorders and pain in our lives. Now, one of the biggest problems I see in my practice every single day is that clients who work with me are finding that there's so much misinformation on the internet about the best diet for this or the best diet for that. And unfortunately, for many people, a generalized approach and the usual suspects as far as the types of diets that are available out there just haven't worked for them, or else they wouldn't have ended up in my office. And the biggest reason for that is that they're not built for that individual person. We're treating the symptoms, the end results of the underlying physiological or biochemical processes without actually addressing those processes themselves. Inflammation is one of the core underlying principles that drives dysfunction in the human body, and is linked to other cardinal processes that drive chronic disease. Blood sugar imbalances or dysglycemia and oxidative stress or free radical damage are the other 2 major underlying processes for all chronic disorders. While a lot of people just link the word inflammation with pain, inflammation is also associated with all chronic diseases, from cardiovascular disease and heart attacks and strokes to autoimmune diseases and mitochondrial disorders, burnout, and other mental health disorders as well, including anxiety and depression. Here's what you need to know about inflammation and anti-inflammatory diets. These 3 points have helped me create personalized precision medicine programs for all of the clients that I work with. We've created personalized anti-inflammatory diets for entrepreneurs and artists and creatives, new parents, and burned out executives that I work with on a daily basis. Fact number 1, our bodies are not built for the world that we live in. Our bodies and our DNA is basically the same as it was in Paleolithic times. And this is the fundamental principle that the paleo diet was built on. Our bodies are not built for the environment that we're exposed to. They're not built for the kinds of foods that we eat or the ratios of the different types of essential fatty acids. It's not built for the lifestyle and the context of our lives. It's not built for the level of stress and the types of stressors that we see on a daily basis. Our bodies have not had the time to adapt to the environment that we live in now compared to Paleolithic times. And back then, our bodies are built to consume a ratio of omega-6 fatty acids to omega-3 fatty acids of about 6:1 or even less. The problem is, in today's day and age, with the kinds of foods that we consume, especially consuming more animal-based meats and animal-based oils and fats, we consume a ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids of somewhere in the neighborhood of 12:1 or even much higher. I've seen as high as a 70:1 in my office. In Paleolithic times, we would get most of our omega-3 fatty acids from plant foods and from fish. And every so often, we would hunt and kill and consume omega-6 fatty acids, specifically one called arachidonic acid from animal meat. Now, we do need some omega-6 fatty acids. They're really important for inflammatory products in our body to heal wounds and to clot our blood. But again, the key here is that most of us are consuming a ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s that's much higher than what our body is designed for. Fact number 2, most humans actually struggle to convert plant sources of omega-3s, alpha-linolenic acid, especially from nuts and seeds, into the usable forms of omega-3 fatty acids that you hear a lot about, and those are called EPA and DHA. The conversion of plant alpha-linolenic acid into EPA and DHA requires 2 major enzymes in our bodies. These 2 enzymes that we've evolved as human beings are actually really poor at converting alpha-linolenic acid into EPA and DHA. And what's more important is that because we can't convert as much of that alpha-linolenic acid into EPA and DHA, we don't get the downstream metabolites that over the last couple of years we're beginning to realize how important EPA and DHA are for producing downstream metabolites metabolites that we call specialized pro-resolving mediators, or SPMs, which initiate the clearance of inflammation more so than being anti-inflammatory. So when we're talking about an anti-inflammatory balance, it's not just about anti-inflammation, but it's about clearing inflammation out of our body at the same time. Fact number 3, you can actually measure the effect your diet is having on your omega-3 balance. It's called Omega Score. Omega Score is probably one of the most important blood tests that you should be doing for optimizing your health span. It allows you to evaluate whether or not the foods that you're eating and the ratios of fats that you're eating are actually producing an anti-inflammatory effect in your body. Omega Score is one of the most important blood tests that you can get that can provide you with a baseline for how your body's actually interacting with the kinds of foods and the ratios of foods that you're eating. It helps you define whether or not and how much omega-3 fatty acids you need to counter inflammation. By testing your Omega Score, you can get a real-world, objective data measurement that tells you whether or not the diet that you're consuming is actually producing an anti-inflammatory effect in your body, whether or not it's actually working for you, whether or not you're actually eating a diet that's conducive to optimizing health span. By using Omega Score, you can actually know and be sure that you're eating the right things. Now, in the last few months, you may have heard a rumor that fish oils might actually be dangerous and may cause arrhythmia. And if you've got some questions about that and you want to know more, check out my other video about fish oils being dangerous, and I'll lay out the truth for you. So, your body is not built for the world that you live in. Generally, you probably consume a ratio of over 12-to-1 omega-6 fatty acids to omega-3 fatty acids, which is literally double what it should be, and you should be targeting a ratio of about 6-to-1. 2, your body can't convert plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids into the usable EPA and DHA, which are so essential to our immune system and to managing inflammation. And 3, you can test your essential fatty acid balance and objectively measure your omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid balance by using Omega Score. It's a simple blood test that doctors in conventional medicine, and frankly even in integrative and functional medicine circles, don't run enough and probably don't really have any awareness of. If you want to learn how to optimize your health span and live as awesome as possible for as long as possible, be sure to follow me to get more tips and tricks on how to optimize your brain and body. And if you're near or local to Vancouver, BC, Canada, be sure to book a free health strategy session where we can talk more about omega-3 balance and make sure that your diet is effective for managing your health span goals. Lastly, if you know of someone who might benefit from this video, be sure to share it with them. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to shoot them at me in the comments below. If you're really interested in learning more about biomarkers and blood tests that can help you optimize your health span, check out my other video.